Villa Doctor was set up primarily because a lot of the owners that I was meeting were fed up, frankly, of paying the sort of middleman charge to management companies or to agencies to basically overlook and oversee and take care of their homes when they weren't there. They were finding, by and large, that the care that they would take of their own homes was not being followed through via the promises of the agents or the management. So they were looking initially for someone to take care of their home in the way that they'd take care of it themselves. So I decided, because there seemed to be a gap in the market, to provide a more bespoke service, so that rather than keep me on a retainer or pay me non-stop throughout the year for whatever I needed to do, they could pay me per project.
Now, you're a big advocate of inventories, and I don't come across too many holiday letters that value inventories. Do you think they're undervalued?
I think, yes I do, in a nutshell. The marketplace that I see most of are individuals rather than sort of big company lets. Now, companies tend to take care of all that themselves, but individuals who let either via websites, their own websites, or via sort of the ones that you can find on the web, Owners Direct or whoever, or to family and friends, they tend not to take on board the importance of inventories. If they're trying to do it commercially via a site like Holiday Lets or Owners Direct, they don't necessarily think about it because they're not steered that way, but necessarily by that website. The website would assume that they knew what they were doing and it's their responsibility, and which is fair enough. And the same thing when it comes to family and friends. Because they're family and friends, they assume that, oh, it'll all be all right, it'll be absolutely fine, nothing to worry about. Well, actually, in my view, there's actually far more to worry about on that basis, because family and friends take things for granted, and if you're renting to family and friends, you take for granted that they're going to take care of your property in the same way that you would take care of theirs. But that's not the case, quite frequently.
Agreed. And obviously with holiday let guests, they can break things, they can damage things, and again, an inventory is the most transparent way to deal with those unlikely events if they do occur.
Absolutely. It's as I've said to you before, it's rental armour. It's part of your rental armour, and it's a protection for both the owner and the rental, really, because then there's no discrepancy. Should there be a giant gouge out of a wall or 5 cups instead of 6, it's all in black and white. It's all, you know, irrefutable. It's there in front of them. Everyone has a baseline to start with and a baseline to finish on, and if there's a discrepancy between the two, it's right there.
Now, holiday lets wear and tear differently to a standard occupancy let.
Yes.
And you're a great believer in the inventory being a good tool to help you keep your holiday let up to top condition.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no legislation for babies throwing up over your cushions. There's no, you know, these are things that you just can't account for. There's no legislation for assuming that a person will put a coffee cup on the sink to be washed rather than just throw it at the wall and cover the wall with it. All these things come up, all these things stain, all these things smell, all these things have an effect on, basically, on the next renter, because if you can't get in to do something about it, that's the impression your house is giving. And you don't want it to be the impression that you've left. You need to be able to say, well, actually, here in black and white, you can see from our previous inventory, this is how. It protects ongoing in that way as well.
And it means that you can maintain your holiday let at a high standard by doing things little and often, rather than letting it deteriorate.
Absolutely, it's really important, and something I point out to my clients. It's far better to do it in bite-sized chunks, both financially, but also in terms of a continuity of service and service. Standard, exactly. Rather than letting it all run down, going downhill, and then suddenly having to blitz it, which of course blitzes everyone in their pockets, and it also means, if it is a big blitz, you have to take time off the rental market in order to achieve it. So makes far more sense having an inventory from the start and just sorting things out as they happen, bit by bit, chunk by chunk, full stop.
And you called the inventory the equivalent of the prenup agreement?
Yes, it's a rental prenup, without doubt. And it's just necessary, and I think it makes things a lot cleaner cut. There leaves nothing to argue about. It is as it is. It does what it says on the tin, and it sorts it from day one. There's no argument therefore.